The haplodiploidy baseline. Before diving into the outliers, it's important to establish the ground rules that 99% of ants follow. This is a system called haplodiploidy. In a standard colony, the queen is the only one who decides the sex of her offspring. She does this by choosing whether or not to fertilize an egg with the sperm she has stored in her body. The female rule. If the queen adds sperm to an egg, it becomes a female. This includes every single worker you see foraging, and it also includes any future winged queens. These females have 2 sets of chromosomes, one from mom, one from dad. The male rule. If the queen lays an egg without adding sperm, it becomes a male. These males have only 1 set of chromosomes, just from mom. This is why males are often called walking sperm. Their only biological purpose is to carry their mother's genes to a new queen. The litoki, making females without males. Cloning species are special because they break that female rule. They use a process called thelytokous parthenogenesis. Essentially, they've developed a cellular trick to produce a female offspring with 2 sets of chromosomes without needing a father. Instead of an unfertilized egg becoming a male, the ant's body finds a way to double its own genetic material or fuse cells back together to mimic a fertilized egg. This results in a daughter that is a genetic carbon copy of the mother. The all-female frontline, the clonal raider ant, Usereia birui, has completely abandoned the standard model. They have no permanent queens and no males. Every individual in the colony is a worker, and every worker is a potential mother. Because every ant can clone itself, the colony is incredibly resilient. If a single worker survives a disaster, she can start a brand new colony by herself. They live in a perpetual loop. They spend a few weeks laying clonal eggs, and then the entire colony switches gears to hunt and feed the hatching larvae. There is no royal class, just a massive, self-replicating army of sisters. The Great Genetic Divorce. The little fire ant, Wasmannia oropunctata, uses cloning to keep their royal bloodlines pure. In these colonies, the male and female genes live in 2 different worlds that almost never mix. Queens clone queens. To ensure the next generation of queens is perfect, the current queen clones herself. Males clone males. Through a process called genome exclusion, a male's sperm can essentially kick the mother's DNA out of an egg to create a clonal son. Workers are the bridge. The only time a male and female actually combine their DNA is to produce workers. These workers are the hybrid labor force that keeps the colony running, but because they are sterile, their mixed DNA is a dead end. The male and female elite lines remain separate and clonal for generations. Strategic cloning. For species like the desert ant, Cataglyphus cursor, cloning is a, quote, break glass in case of emergency backup. They usually rely on standard sexual reproduction to create a diverse workforce of workers. Diversity is good for the workforce because it helps them handle different temperatures or resist diseases. However, when the queen is nearing the end of her life, or the colony needs a new leader, she switches to cloning. By cloning herself to create a new queen, she ensures that her successful queen genes aren't diluted by a random male's DNA. She gives her successor the exact same genetic toolkit that allowed her to survive and thrive. This framework should give your viewers a clear understanding of why these ants are so weird compared to the ones they find in their kitchen.